Okay. So let's take a moment just to come into our practice. So it's quite warm where I am. Maybe it's warm where you are, so you might not need socks on today. Let's take a moment just to come back into a nice reclined butterfly, especially if you've been doing a lot of sitting today, maybe at work. So just recline yourself back. It's a nice way just to drop into this practice. Take the arms out nice and wide. If there's any back issues, you're very welcome just to keep the knees together and toes pointed together. Take a moment just to sort of massage into the shoulders, lift the head back and down. You can always have a blanket or a pillow under the head if you like, but you don't need one. It's quite nice to actually have the head on the mat, so you get that nice sort of myofascial into the neck area. Take a moment or two just to come into your space, coming into the breathing, noticing just how the body is setting. Notice where any tight spots are. And just noticing that natural rhythm of belly rise and belly fall. Maybe you've got your arms close or wide, or even stretch them overhead so you can get right into the corners of the shoulder blades. Again, just being present in our body. Scanning through, noticing where's tight, any knots, any restrictions. And then when you're ready, just place right hand on heart, left hand on belly. It's really nice. Maybe this is your only yin practice of the week. So setting a positive intention. It could be a feeling, a prayer, or an affirmation. Something positive and a true statement. Something like, all is well. I am breath. Or maybe it's a feeling of love, abundance, and gratitude. And then when you're ready, bring the knees into chest, have a little hug in, a little massage side to side. Notice how that lower back is feeling with that lovely compression as you roll the knees in. And again, that nice massage of thighs to chest, giving the abdomen a massage. You'll feel your compression down through the lower back, middle back, and right up to the skull. With each breath, feeling the expansion and contraction, breathing in, noticing that breath naturally starting to slow down. And then when you're ready, we'll roll ourselves up or onto the side. We're going to come into a child's pose to start with. So we may need a blanket underneath knees. So we're going to be here for a while. And we're going to extend the arms forward. So this will give us a lovely shoulder stretch. But first of all, you might sort of just take it in Seiza for a while, especially if you've been running or cycling or just not giving your feet much attention. Then you could just sit in Seiza with the knees together or knees apart. Feeling the shoulders away from ears and just nuzzle left and right. So I really like to kind of use my heels to massage into those glutes. Little release side to side can feel quite beneficial. And then when you're ready, start to make the slow descent down as we come into a nice long extended child's pose. So stretching the arms, you could have something under the head. You could have a cushion, a block, or a pillow. And just again, through time, the knees will hopefully come wider and wider. So you're getting a really nice external rotation of the hips at the same time. Again, there's no rush. Take your time. And for a while, you could even, if you feel you're very stressed or, you know, gripping, being very codependent today, then you could just turn the palms up. Let the energy of the universe come in. Taking a moment or two there just to be in this space, be in this shape. Notice how toes, ankles, knees, hips. And it's really nice on this one, especially if you've got a lot going on in your head, to massage and just roll the top of the head on your mat and just turn your cheek side to side. And then settle somewhere in the center. Maybe arms are ready now to go down. You could have your arms a bit wider and a softer elbow as well, if that feels better for you. So just be in this shape. I'm going to go quiet for a while now and let you just settle in. Again, noticing what sensations are arising. So if you're spreading out the fingertips, you might be getting those yang meridians stimulated, and you might feel a little buzzing or tingling or vibration up the arms. Heart and lung meridian underneath those armpit areas. Kidneys, back of the body. Again, just be in this space, letting all tension go from the toes, from the feet, knees and hips. As you feel a surrender, if you're struggling to get your bottom anywhere near your heels, then you can have your bolster or a couple of pillows there. That can feel quite nourishing. Remember, you can always have hands stacked as well and soften elbows if you're just feeling there's a little bit too much going on in the shoulders. Very grounding child's pose, but it also brings you into that inner landscape. So you start to observe what is actually happening in my body. How is my body responding? Is this too much, too little, or just right? A few more breaths here. And then we have the lovely magic of coming out, that very, very slow exit. The slower the better, because you may feel or find or feel into a spot that gets a release on the way out. So maybe rolling chin in, sliding hands back slowly. You might come back to Seizo. You might need an all fours and stretch the legs out. So it's very dependent on what the body is signaling to you. We can take a rebound. You can stay here in the rebound. You can sit in easy pose, or for many of you, you may prefer just to go onto the back in that neutral position. So whatever feels good, a neutral position so you can let the body reset itself. It will feel achy, a little tight, a bit aged. That's quite normal. So we may notice in our yin practice, the first couple of shapes might be a bit tighter or take a bit longer. And then we just come back to the breath if the mind is still busy. Think of this practice as a bit of a massage, internal massage into those deeper layers. Your body will start to crave your yin practice. It's such a vital practice to make sure you make time for in your week. Again, you might hug your knees in. We're going to come onto our belly in a moment and come into our lower back. So Sphinx pose and seal. So there's a few variations here as well. So roll yourself back up gently, does it? And you're going to come round onto your bellies. Now we're going to start off nice and low. I am going to give an option today to take your knee out to the side. So make sure you've got a blanket, if you're on a hard floor like I am, that's underneath you so you can swish to one side and lift your leg. So I'm going to give that variation as well as bending leg variation. So first of all, just lie on the floor, especially if you're tight in the lower back. It will go into autopilot. So you just need to swish the hips. If you're very, very tight in the lower back, then take the legs much wider than the hips. Now we're going to just try to breathe into the belly. Imagine that you're breathing and gently ballooning the belly. Try and relax the shoulders. And we're going to try to keep the glutes as relatively relaxed once we get up. We might need a tiny core engagement, like 5 or 10%. We can always come back down here and turn the head to the side if we need a rest out, if the lower back is speaking too strongly. When you're ready, just slowly, again, gently lift the head, the nose, and the chin, and then the chest. The arms can come directly underneath shoulders, or as you can see, I've slightly got mine in front. You can, if you've got enough cushioning under elbows, you can rest elbows and rest your head in. You could even place a bolster underneath. If you've got no back issues, you might want a bit more height, but we're trying to keep our belly rested down so we're not up high, yeah? Not yet anyway. See how that feels, and we're going to just breathe up and down the legs. Take your time there. I have to watch my little Buddha. And just adjust and then find that stillness. Shrug shoulders, that will take a little bit away from upper back activation, like you're popping your head in your tortoise shell, or lift your head up. Every so often you might enjoy a chin nod, hands together, 10 to 2, so lots of variations here. Just find something soothing for you. So the area that we're working into is that lumbar spine. So it's countering all that flat back, sitting against those chairs, lots of driving where we're slamming our lower back. So this is helping to bring all of the tissues, the fascial network, those deep connective tissues, some lubrication into that erector spiny lower back. Again, just breathing into the back body. Reminding yourself not to tense toes. So as I showed you earlier, we could bend knees if there's no back issues. Try and relax your glutes again. If this is too much, this can be a little bit too much for me, then just take one knee out to the side. So the knee will go out in line with the hip. Again, you can bring a bit of height in, or you can release down. Again, remember with yin, it's not about, especially if you're a runner or you're very competitive, it's not to force, it's not to jam. Just ease in, settle in. If you get a sensation that's up to number 10 or even 8 or 9, then just relax back, just back off. We're trying to be as kind to the body. Slow, very, very gentle easing in, because then we can feel when that's the spot to stop instead of forcing. We're being human beings instead of human doing. Just being in this moment, in this space. Now, if you've got one leg out to the side, slowly straighten the leg. Swish yourself over if you've not got much room, and then stretch your leg out the other side, just so both inside thighs get a bit of an opening as well. Shrug down a bit again, start the process, because we've changed the dynamics a little bit. We've done something different. This side might need something different. Breathing into the belly. And again, we're lifting the leg on one side. We may notice that one side SI joint's a bit tighter than the other, so you might lean into it, lean out. Again, this is a great practice for kind of noticing by slight little adjustments, you might find a better position. Notice again if you're shrugging or you want to drop your head down. At any point it gets too much, it feels like you're pushing, you're bashing, you're trying to run the marathon, then just back off, just come down. There may be some of you out there catching up on the recording that can push to seal. And seal pose is arms a bit wider and you're pushing them out like two poles. Again, you can shrug shoulders or you can pop head out. Again, relaxing glutes and feet. Again, remember they will tense to get you up, but then just soothe the breath down. Again, taking your time. You can even look over one shoulder if that just brings a slightly different element, bit of neck in there as well. You can come back to center and you can slowly look over the other shoulder. Just slightly different, a little bit into that side body. About 3 more breaths. Remember, you can always start to make your slow descent down. Again, just honoring how your body is responding. The little time cues I give are just that. They're just little indications of perhaps, but you must listen to your body. Relax down. Now, you may enjoy rebound lying on your belly. For me personally, I love just slowly rolling onto my back and doing a reset. Remember, the rebound is one of the most important bits. We can just let the body just come back. So if there's any niggles, any tight spots, any misalignment, so we get in habits if we're in pain somewhere or there's an old injury, the body goes out of sync, and rebound just helps to reset it all. But we can only do this when we are not in a state of fight or flight, when we are in rest and repair mode, where the blood pressure's lowered, cortisol, heart rate. There's no fear, there's no anxiousness. And then when you're ready in your own time, you could hug your knees back in and just again, give a little love. A nice another one to do is the window wipe. So feet flat and drop one knee and then bring the other knee across. Open that top knee like a window wiper. So one knee meets the other, they join together and then that one opens. Also gets a bit of a nice stretch, massage into the side glutes, into the lumbar spine again, a side joint. Okay, we're going to do cat pulling tail. This one's a little tricky. So I know some of you have got back issues. So you might today just lie on your back and just catch hold of the leg. Or you could try just half saddle. So this is just going to be stretching this leg out. Then what I'm going to try and get you to do, sorry, wrong leg, bottom leg. But you're going to be, if you're lying on the side, take top. So what we're going to do is take the top leg over, grab the bottom leg, and over the next few minutes, slowly bring that top shoulder down. And this is called cat pulling tail. So it's a bit tricky, this one. You could hold this leg. You could have it actually straight. There's a lot going on. So it's, again, quite a lot into the lower back. So just to show you again, I know that one's a little bit confusing. Top leg over, make sure your knee's supported. Grab hold of that leg underneath. And then slowly we're going to work that top shoulder down. So we get that nice, intense stretch. Now, if you had a bolster, you could place it on the shoulder gently. Take your time. Again, just feeling the two things going on. Your leg is going in one direction, the twist, and your shoulder is going in the other, while holding possibly the bottom leg. If it's too much, let go of the bottom leg. There's quite a lot going on with this one. And again, you could hold that leg there if that feels supportive for you. Again, for those of you with vertebrae issues, you know that this one will probably be too much. So just do your own twist variation or something else for the next few minutes. Again, just coming back to breathing into the belly. And you peel the shoulder down a few more inches. You can let go of the bottom leg if that may help you, if you feel it's too much. Strong quad release as well on that bottom leg. How's that feeling? Good. Yeah, it's quite intense, this one. And again, closing eyes can just bring you inwards. You can notice how the foot, the knee is responding. Those dominant quads as well. If you're holding the leg, you can let go. Just don't pull into that. This is quite an advanced twist, this one. So you could just bring the legs together and just let go of that bottom leg if you're feeling it's too much. I think cat pulling tail took me a couple of years to be able to do. When you're ready, you're slowly going to exit out. So if you've got hold of the bottom leg, stretch that leg out. And again, you might just come to center and just do a full body stretch. That may feel good. And then the same option is just lie on the side and catch hold of the top leg. That's your beginner option. Then you can then decide if you're going to come into the cat pulling towel, take the top leg over, bend the leg. Again, a lot going on. You could use a strap here as well if you really can't catch hold of this leg. And then slowly we'll work that top shoulder down. No rush, take your time. The top knee might not even go anywhere near the floor. You could have a couple of cushions or a bolster under there as well. Take your time. What we don't want to do is jam into it. Just take it slowly. Make subtle adjustments. Again, you could look opposite, look up, or look at the way the top knee is going. This one I definitely feel was going a bit deeper into the bones, and that's what Yin's about. We're trying to let the dominant muscles of, that carry all the blood, that lift our legs, kind of trying to switch off the muscle contraction and let the body go into the deeper layers, into the bones, into the fascia, that kind of spider web that wraps around all of our organs and bones, keeps us together. Counting the breath can be very useful if your mind is wandering off. So a 3 or 4 or 5 count breath in. Maybe that natural pause, and a 3 or 4 or 5 count breath out. Really helps you to be present and in this moment. Most of us just rush around life, not noticing, not being present. On autopilot. But sometimes we can even get home and someone can ask us about something. Did you notice that? And you didn't even notice because you were just focusing forward, just autopilot. So find that stillness. Again, you can back off by lowering or letting go of the back leg for after a while. Again, like I said, that one is quite intense. You'll then just gently, slowly come back to center, unravel yourself. It's a bit awkward to get out of releasing limbs and arms. And then just come back to center. And then again, you can take a little swish side to side, take a little window wipe. So it's really quite a soak and squeeze for the vertebrae, that one. It's quite intense, that one, isn't it? Slowly then stretch those arms out, legs out. Take a rebound. Now you might need a bit longer in that rebound because that was very, very deep. So however long you need, if you're still feeling something going on in the lower back, and take a bit longer in your rebound. Now, again, once you feel that heaviness, that achiness has subsided, that's your cue, then you're ready to mindfully, gently draw the knees in. So we're going to do we did a back extension with our seal and our Sphinx pose. Now we're going to do a spinal flexion and a little bit into hamstring and calf muscles. So when you're ready, sit yourself up. And we're going to extend our legs in front. And I'm going to give you the 2 options, the 1 leg at a time option. Now, you can again make sure you've got something underneath your tailbone, a blanket or a cushion. This will stop you doing this. It will just tilt the pelvis. You can also have the bolster under the knees if you like. if you're very tight in the hamstrings. So if you roll your blanket up that you're sitting on and then just put it under the seating bones, that might help. Good. So the first option is just one leg at a time. So you can have one leg at a time. If you want to concentrate, if you're running or cycling, on just one leg at a time, we can just lean forward. Now we're not tensing this foot. Let this foot fall in or fall out. And for some of you with back issues, you're going to just stay upright and just gently ease in with a very, very straight spine. If you've got no back issues, there's been no operations, then you might enjoy rounding down. You could have your 2 blocks. You could have your bolster resting on your head. Yeah. Another nice one, or if you want to go straight into a longer hold, is grab your bolster long ways on your thighs. So just see what feels good. And then you get a bit more weight bearing compression. That's it. Again, taking your time, no rush. Just find, does a single leg feel better or does both? And about halfway through, I'll give you that little cue to swap and do the other leg if you're doing single leg. Now again, relax the belly. Support the head if you need to. You can have your blocks or your elbows on your bolster and rest your head. Relax those toes. They want to tense. We're getting a lovely compression on the back of thighs, so the whole back body, those calf muscles with the spinal flexion, and it's going to take time. If you feel a pulling, just back off. You've gone too quickly in. Again, just feeling into that space. Taking your time. Again, just scanning in. Maybe the heels are getting a nice press down into the floor as well. Just make sure that that feeling in the lumbar spine, the lower back, is not 8, 9 or number 10 on that scale. If you're doing one leg now, you might swap and bring the other leg out and just take one leg at a time. So we've got a bit of gravity here helping that massage, that compression down. There'll also be as well a bit of a massage on those intestines as well as you're leaning forward with the bolster or bringing your belly forward onto your thighs. A few more breaths here. And then to make the slow exit out, keep your chin tucked into chest. And from the lower back, just stack one vertebrae at a time. So don't lift your head too quickly. Let yourself stack. One vertebrae, walk your hands back. And then slowly peel the spine up. The slower the better. You might feel a knot, a crack, a tight spot. You might even enjoy a leaning back to counter that forward fold by just leaning back, just really slowly. Creaks and cranks coming out there as well, and then gently back. Take a rebound. So remember, we don't have to lie on our back for a rebound. We could just do an easy pose, which is here. I quite like lying back because I feel it's a stronger reset for me, but it's okay. You could do a child's pose, or sometimes you might need to even just stand up. And as you feel that reset, that flush of energy, it might feel like a vibration, a tingling. You're not even quite too sure what it is, but there's something there. That's all that energy happening inside of the body, right down to that cellular level. And when you're ready, we're going to hug knees in. And we're going to take a little massage side to side. We're going to come to puppy pose now. Puppy pose is great, getting into those arms and shoulders. So again, you may really appreciate some padding. But we could again sit in Cesar for a little while before we go into puppy pose again, or even take in a toe stretch. So again, if you've been running, cycling, or even gardening, just giving these knees, Cesar's great. This will help with your digestion. It stops you slouching as well. Again, you can have your knees in or out, whatever's comfortable. And if you have knee issues, this is a great pose to do. Yeah. So what we want to do is just relax, take your time into it. And then what we're going to do is introduce puppy pose. So we come onto the knees, onto all fours. Now my bottom is going to stay over my knees, and I'm going to take one arm down. And then I'm going to stretch the other arm in front, and that hand then, arm in front underneath my head, is where I'm going to rest my head. So we're getting into heart and lung meridian. We're going to then feel the stretch through the spine as well as that armpit area, and try and relax the toes. If you had them tucked under, then just lay them down. See how that feels. Notice where it's tensing, so the quads, if they're still quite active, just send some relaxing breaths. Again, forearms, so if you've been tapping away, doing lots of work with computers or mouse moving this hand, gardening, even riding a bike, this forearm stretch on the inner arm is really nice as well. And when you're ready, we'll swap arms. So just straighten out that one and bring the other one underneath, and then rest the head down. You don't have to stretch that straight arm too far, but you could walk it a little bit towards the top of the mat. Just see how that shoulder blade is feeling. A few more breaths here. And then when you're ready, we're going to exit out. So slowly bring the arm back. Now you might just push up to all fours, and you might need to instinctively just release the knees by stretching one leg back or taking a soft down dog. Whatever feels good. There's no right or wrong with yin. Where does your body want to go? Slowly take it there. So we're going to do a nice banana, Bansana, half moon impression. So let's reset on our back so we're ready then. And we're going to swish our body over to one side and just take a reset for a moment. You may feel that tingling up and down the arms. So when we work into those yang meridians, they're very strong. So now I'm lining up one side of my body against one side of my mat. I'm then going to come into our half moon Bansana, taking one foot to the opposite and lift that same shoulder opposite. And if we were a bird's eye view looking down on ourselves, we would be making that banana shape half moon impression. The legs can stay apart if there's any back issues. And you can just work on peeling the shoulders, but keep that hip next to the side of your mat. The legs could be together. The top leg could stack over. So that will bring a bit more into the side, a little bit into the obliques, into the QL muscle, IT band. If it's too much on that SI joint, then just release the legs open. Look away, look up, whatever the neck, wherever it wants to go, just find a place for it. And again, just bringing focus back to the belly breaths. Breathing in, navel rise. And breathing out, navel fall. And you can hold fingertips, wrists, or elbows, whatever feels good. Letting all the worries, stress. Remember, when we're doing a lot, when there's a lot of stress or anxiety, sometimes we're not even aware. The body locks onto it and holds into it. So with our yin practice, we're just letting it go. Anything that's not needed, any worries, concerns, any stress or anxiety, letting it go. Enjoying a few more breaths here. Noticing the compression on one side and the stretch on the other side of the body. Again, making that slow, slow exit out. If you stacked your leg, you might take that up, lift the shoulder. Oh, it's going to feel stiff. Again, a little release. You might hug knees in, and then you're going to take your whole body now over to the other side of the mat. Slowly transition. Take your time. Don't rush. Don't be too dynamic. You might just hold there for a little while. And then when you're ready, we'll start the process. So taking that leg to the opposite corner or halfway, lift the shoulder, take yourself across. So again, it's that half moon banana shape that you're making, compression on one side, stretch on the other. This side, the head might want to be slightly in a different position. Maybe you want to stack the legs. Maybe those side hip, there's a bit of hip flexor I can feel there, but more IT band, QL, armpit. Moment by moment, inch by inch in. Again, muscle in another inch in. If there's a bit of space being created, just crawl into it. And then when you're ready, you're going to make your slow exit. If you stacked your foot, slowly, slowly going to feel dead stiff. Back to center, nice straight line. You may instinctively need a hugging of knees or a little window wipe there. We'll use our rebound for our reset relaxation. So just then get yourself ready. Again, if you are in a cooler room, you could put a blanket over you, pop your socks on, or just stay right where you are. And again, taking your time. So as we lie down in Savasana, allowing the feet just to fall apart, the arms at the side, closing eyes, and just come back to that nice belly breath, that nice yogic breath. Again, you can slightly lift your right foot and relax it down and left, and just get really comfortable. Lifting your arm, lowering your arm, lifting your other arm, and again, just finding that optimum position. As we relax our toes and we inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Bring awareness to your heels. Breathe in and out to relax. Focus on your breath as you continue to relax your calves. Relax. Release. Let go. Now relax your chin. Inhale and exhale. Continue to release all the tension in your knees. Focus on your breath. Inhale And exhale. Relax your glutes, your bum muscles. Breathe in and slowly exhale. Coming back to letting go all tension. Let's go now and relax your pelvic area. Draw the breath in, focus, and again releasing. Breathing in and breathing out. Letting go all the way to the abdomen. The heart center. The shoulders and neck. Feeling the back of the head just pressing down. Any tension locked into the jaw, you might sort of open the mouth, release, and just drop the tongue from the top teeth or the roof of the mouth. Take a gulp if that feels good. Again, notice if there's any tension around the eye sockets. Are you squinting? Is there a line in between the eyebrows? Just softening all those lines, those fine lines. And now just feeling the whole body as a radiant vibration of energy. Bringing the hand on heart again and the hand on belly. And this is known as our lower dantian, ahara. Coming back to that little prayer, affirmation or feeling that you set right at the beginning of your practice, repeating it now again 3 times, but really send it within. Really feel it manifest and sending it out there. And then when you're ready, in your own time, just relax the arms and just start to notice any noise from outside of the room you're lying in. Then start to bring your awareness to the room you're in. Start to then slowly bring a bit of movement, a lick of lips, a wiggle of toes and fingers, and a big stretch overhead. Good, a slow hugging of knees and give yourself a little hug. You can then gently roll onto your side and hang out there in that lovely fetus position, no rush. And then gently using the strength of those arms to push yourself back up. And then just find that comfortable seated position as we just bring a gentle awareness to how we are feeling now. How is the body feeling? A bit more openness, a bit more spaciousness. Ready for a really good sleep tonight, those joining me on the live or if catching up. Just observe how different you're feeling from when you first landed on the mat. Palms together. A little rub of hands coming into the eyes now. If you haven't already opened them, then take a breath in. And then like a little chi shower, wiggle those fingertips down. Hands in heart center. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me, those here with me and those with me on the live and those catching up.